Hello, dear friends. My name is Dr. Rubaji. I'm in my 70s now, and after decades in medicine, there's one quiet question I've heard more times than I can count. It usually comes with a tired smile, a lowered voice, and a hint of confusion in the eyes. Why am I always so tired? Even when I haven't done much. I understand that feeling. It's not just physical, it runs deeper, and I want you to know you're not imagining it. You're not weak. You're not alone. After years of listening closely to my patients, and honestly to my own body as I've aged, I've come to realize something. There are hidden reasons why so many of us in our later years feel constantly drained. And here's the good news. Many of them have nothing to do with aging itself. They're not permanent, they're not your fault, and most importantly, they're fixable. So in this video, I want to gently walk you through 10 surprisingly common reasons why you might feel exhausted all the time, and what you can start doing, one small step at a time, to feel like yourself again. Let's begin. 1. You're not drinking enough water, even if you think you are. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Of course I drink water, doctor. I had a glass with my pills this morning. But let me ask you, what about after that? You see, as we get older, our bodies get quieter. The thirst signal, that sharp, undeniable urge we had in our younger years, becomes more like a whisper. By the time we actually feel thirsty, we may already be mildly dehydrated. And dehydration doesn't always look like a dry mouth or dizziness. Sometimes it looks like fatigue, like heaviness behind the eyes, like nodding off in the middle of the afternoon for no clear reason. One woman told me her mother kept falling asleep randomly during the day. The family was worried it was early dementia. Turns out, it was something much simpler. She just wasn't drinking enough water. Once she started sipping steadily throughout the day, not chugging, just sipping, she came alive again. More alert, more present, more herself. Now, I know it's inconvenient. Many seniors avoid drinking because they don't want to keep running to the bathroom. I understand that. But hydration doesn't mean forcing down gallons. It means small, steady sips. A glass by your side like an old friend. Add a slice of lemon, a bit of mint, even a splash of juice if it helps. Make it something you enjoy, not enjoy. Because water, dear friends, is not just a drink. It's your body's fuel, and when you give it what it needs, gently and consistently, you may just find the fog lifting and your energy returning in the quietest, kindest way. 2. You're sitting too much and calling it rest. This one surprises a lot of people. I can't count how many times I've had patients say, "But I didn't do anything today, doc. I just sat around, so why am I so exhausted?" And I always tell them, gently, because stillness isn't the same as rest. You see, real rest restores you. It fills your tank back up. But being still for too long, especially day after day, actually starts to drain you, not replenish you. That's the paradox of aging. We slow down, but we also end up feeling more worn out. Let me paint the picture. You wake up, have a bit of breakfast, settle into your favorite chair. You might flip through the TV channels, scroll a little on your phone, maybe even just sit in silence, looking out the window. On paper, it sounds peaceful, but by the late afternoon, you feel as if you've run a marathon. Not in triumph, but in defeat. Your body aches, your mind is foggy, and all you want to do is lie back down. And the question always comes, how can I be so tired when I barely moved? Here's the answer. When we sit too long, our circulation slows, our muscles quietly weaken, and our joints begin to stiffen. Our bodies interpret the lack of movement as a signal, one that says, "Oh, maybe we're shutting down for the day." In response, it lowers your energy to match your activity level. That's the body's natural adaptation, and that's where fatigue sneaks in. The less you move, the less your body wants to move. It becomes a quiet, self-perpetuating cycle. But here's the hopeful part. You don't have to break this cycle with big gestures. You don't need to sign up for a senior boot camp or start power walking around the block. What your body really needs is a reminder that it's still alive and still valuable, and that can come in the form of the simplest movements. I once had a patient, a retired school teacher, who told me about her secret routine. Every hour on the hour, she'd get up and do what she called TV commercial exercises, a few gentle stretches, a march in place, maybe even a silly twist if she was feeling playful. "It makes me feel like I've got coffee in my veins," she laughed. And you know what? Her energy reflected that. So if you ever find yourself slumped in your recliner, feeling drained after a day of doing nothing, consider this. Your body isn't asking for a break, it's asking to be included. Stand up, stretch, walk to the mailbox, reach for the sky, whisper to yourself, "I'm still here." Because you are, and your body, your heart, and your spirit all need to be reminded of that simple truth. 3. You're carrying silent stress, and it's heavier than it looks. Now, this one, I must tell you, hits closer to home than most people realize. We often think of stress as something loud, racing thoughts, pounding heartbeats, panic attacks. But for many older adults, stress becomes something quieter, more subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and sometimes it becomes such a constant companion that we no longer even recognize it for what it is. I once had a woman in her late 60s sit across from me during a checkup. She looked tired, but in that deep, soul-heavy kind of way. When I asked how she'd been feeling lately, she gave a soft chuckle and said, "Oh, I don't have much to worry about anymore. The kids are grown, I'm retired. I guess I'm just getting old." But after a pause, she added, almost as an afterthought, "Although I do worry about my health, about being alone, about forgetting things, about running out of money." That pause said everything. You see, silent stress is like carrying a backpack full of invisible bricks. You can't see it, but your body feels it with every breath you take. And the tricky part? Your body doesn't care whether the stress is loud or quiet. It responds the same way. It releases cortisol, tenses your muscles, interrupts your sleep, dulls your mood, and slowly drains your energy, like a light bulb dimming over time. What makes this type of stress so challenging is that it hides behind what looks like a normal life. You might not even feel anxious. You might go through your day, get things done, smile, talk, even laugh. But deep underneath, your mind is always on, always scanning, always preparing for what if. That constant hump in the background, my friend, is exhausting. But here's the hopeful part. You can lighten the load. One of my patients started something I found so simple yet powerful. Every night before bed, she'd write down her worries on a small slip of paper. She'd fold it carefully, whisper, "This is for tomorrow," and place it in a little shoebox she called her worry vault. She told me she started sleeping better almost immediately, not because her problems disappeared, but because she gave her mind permission to rest. You don't have to erase all your stress. Life will always have things we care about deeply, but what we can do is stop carrying it alone and stop carrying it silently. Talk to someone you trust, write it down, breathe through it, meditate if that's your thing, or simply place your hand on your chest and remind yourself, "I am safe. I am enough. I am here." Because sometimes the most draining weight we carry isn't physical. It's the one we never let anyone see. And lifting just a little of that can bring more energy back to your life than any vitamin ever could. 4. You're eating foods that secretly drain you. Now this one's sneaky, because the foods that steal your energy often don't come in a candy wrapper or a soda can. No, they come disguised as comfort. A soft muffin with coffee in the morning, a couple slices of white toast with jam, a bowl of cereal late at night. Harmless, right? Familiar. easy to chew, easy to digest. But what many don't realize is that these very foods, the ones we reach for because they're simple and safe, are often working against us. You see, these types of meals tend to be high in refined carbohydrates and sugars, but low in the fiber, protein, and healthy fats that help your body stay balanced. What happens next is like a little roller coaster inside you. Your blood sugar spikes, giving you a brief burst of energy, and then crashes soon after. And that crash? That's when you find yourself nodding off in your recliner with the television still playing, wondering why you feel like you've hit a wall. I once spoke to a gentleman who told me every morning, like clockwork, he'd eat 2 slices of white toast with jam and a banana. By mid-morning, he'd feel sluggish, groggy, and ready for his first nap of the day. He assumed it was just age, but when his doctor gently pointed out that his breakfast was a sugar bomb and suggested adding an egg and a handful of almonds, he felt like someone had flipped a switch. Just that small change helped level his energy and carry him more steadily through the day. And don't get me started on low-fat snacks. For decades we were told to fear fat, and so many of us still avoid it out of habit. But now we know better. Healthy fats, the kind found in avocados, olive oil, nuts, they actually help stabilize energy, feed your brain, and keep you satisfied longer. Meanwhile, rice cakes, crackers, and those diet snacks might leave your stomach full, but your energy empty. The saddest part is that many older adults choose these light, soft foods with good intentions. They're gentle on the stomach, require little preparation, and feel safe. But safe doesn't always mean nourishing. In fact, many of the most common senior meals are quietly missing the essential building blocks for steady, lasting energy. I remember one woman telling me, "I started adding half a boiled egg and a few almonds to my lunch. It felt silly, like it wouldn't make a difference. But I swear I felt 10 years younger." That's the power of small, thoughtful changes. You don't have to throw your whole pantry away. You just have to listen to how your body feels after you eat, not just during. Because food, my friends, isn't just about filling your stomach. It's about fueling your life. And when you choose the kind of fuel your body truly needs, you might just find yourself feeling sharper, steadier, and far less tired. Not just for an hour, but for the whole day. 5. You're not getting deep sleep, just light dozing. Sleep. One of life's simplest gifts, and one of the first things to slip through our fingers as we age. I've lost count of how many patients have told me, "Doctor, I sleep 8 hours a night, but I wake up feeling like I haven't slept at all." And you know what? They're not wrong. They've been in bed, yes, but they haven't been resting, because there's a world of difference between sleep and deep sleep. As we get older, it becomes harder to drop into the restorative stages of rest, those vital, healing layers of sleep where the body repairs itself, the brain clears out toxins, and the soul gets a chance to breathe. And yet, night after night, many seniors find themselves trapped in the shallows, tossing, turning, waking to use the bathroom, or simply hovering just below the surface of rest without ever truly sinking in. I remember one older gentleman who told me he slept with the TV on every night. "I can't stand the silence," he said. But that soft flickering light, as innocent as it seemed, was tricking his brain into staying alert. His body was lying down, but his brain thought it was still on the night shift. No wonder he was tired every morning. Even in a quiet, dark room, though, there are other invisible thieves that rob us of deep sleep. Anxiety, chronic pain, blood sugar imbalances, side effects of medications. These things don't always keep you awake, but they keep you from dropping into the kind of rest that actually restores you. And I'll never forget a woman I met during a wellness talk. She said she used to wake up 5-6 times a night. I thought it was just part of aging, she told me. Then someone suggested she try a magnesium supplement and a white noise machine. Just simple, gentle changes. She did, and one morning, eyes wide with wonder, she said, "Doctor, I dreamed last night." That moment brought tears to her eyes. She had forgotten what dreaming even felt like. You see, dreams don't just mean your brain is active, they mean you've finally reached the deep part of sleep, the part where healing happens. Without it, you can sleep for 10 hours and still feel like your battery's stuck at 15%. So if you're waking up more tired than when you went to bed, don't dismiss it as just old age. It may not be about how long you sleep, but how deeply you do. Your body, your brain, your heart, they all need that quiet sanctuary of deep rest to carry you through each day with clarity and strength. And believe me, with a few mindful changes, a calming bedtime ritual, less light, better sleep support, that kind of rest can come back. You deserve that. You've earned it. 6. You're not spending enough time outside. Now this one might surprise you with how powerful it truly is. Of all the conversations I've had with patients over the years, this reason comes up again and again, and it's often said with a kind of quiet regret. "I don't go outside much anymore." It sounds simple, harmless even. But in truth, it matters more than we realize. Our bodies were made to move with the rhythm of the earth, to rise with the light, to wind down with the dusk, to breathe in fresh air and feel the warmth of the sun on our skin. That's not just poetry, that's biology. We have something called a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that tells every cell in our body when to wake, when to rest, when to heal. And guess what sets that clock? Natural light. When we spend day after day indoors under dim lamps or fluorescent bulbs, our internal compass starts to lose its way. Our brain doesn't know when to release melatonin to help us sleep, or when to wake us up with energy. Everything falls out of sync, and over time we start to feel foggy, sluggish, even emotionally low. One man once told me, "Doc, I started sitting on my porch with a cup of coffee every morning for 15 minutes. Just that. Nothing fancy. But within a week I was waking up easier. I felt more present." That's the healing power of light and air. No prescription needed, no side effects, unless you count a clearer mind and a lighter heart. And there's another layer to it, vitamin D, which we absorb from sunlight. It's essential for mood, immune health, bone strength, and, yes, energy. Many older adults are deficient without even knowing it. I've seen patients go from weary and withdrawn to engaged and brighter simply by restoring their vitamin D levels. But beyond the science, let me say this from the heart. Being outside reconnects you to life. It lifts your spirit in quiet, sacred ways. Even if it's just sitting in a garden, feeling the breeze, watching a bird hop across the lawn, it reminds you that the world is still turning and that you're still a part of it. I know some of us can't take long walks anymore, and not everyone has a garden or a sunny porch. But if you can just find a way to spend 10 or 15 minutes outside each day, even if it's just by an open window with the sun on your face, it's like plugging your body and soul back into nature's power source. You don't need Wi-Fi for this kind of connection. Just a little light, a little sky, and a quiet moment to breathe. 7. You're running low on vital nutrients, and you don't even know it. Now this one is quieter than most. You don't feel it all at once. It doesn't knock on your door or send sharp signals like a fever or a cough. No, when your body runs low on essential nutrients, it whispers. A little more tired than usual, a little more foggy. Muscles ache for no reason. You sit down more. You forget what you walked into the room for. And the easiest thing in the world to say is, well, I guess this is just aging. But here's what I've learned. And I say this after reading hundreds of lab reports and hearing stories that echo one another like a quiet chorus. Sometimes it's not your age that's the problem. It's a deficiency. Our bodies change over time. They stop absorbing certain vitamins and minerals as efficiently. The food we eat may stay the same, but what we actually get from that food decreases. So even if your diet hasn't changed in 20 years, your nutrient levels might have. Let me tell you about a man I met during a community health checkup. He said he felt like he was walking through molasses every day. Heavy, slow, no energy. He was convinced it was just old age and almost laughed when someone suggested a blood test. But sure enough, he was low in vitamin B12, vitamin D, and iron. We made a few small changes, a supplement here, some iron-rich foods there, and within weeks, he told me, it's like someone flipped the lights back on inside me. That's what these nutrients do. B12 helps with energy production and nerve health. Iron carries oxygen to your cells. Imagine trying to fuel your muscles and brain without enough air. Vitamin D supports everything from your mood to your immune system. And magnesium, often overlooked, helps relax your muscles, regulate sleep, and support the heart. The tricky part is that symptoms of these deficiencies mimic normal aging, tiredness, forgetfulness, weakness. And because we expect those things with age, we don't always question them. But I'm here to tell you, you should. If you haven't had a routine blood panel in the past year, talk to your doctor. Ask about your vitamin and mineral levels, especially if you're always tired, even after rest. Sometimes the solution isn't a mystery illness. It's something as simple and powerful as giving your body back what it quietly lost. I'm not saying everyone needs a drawer full of pills, but I am saying don't settle for feeling drained when your body may just be asking for a little support, a little boost, a little nourishment to carry you forward, not just through the day, but through life, with more vitality than you thought was still possible. And so, dear friends, if you've found yourself nodding along today, if even one of these reasons felt like it was speaking directly to you, I want you to take heart. You're not broken. You're not just getting old. You are a living, breathing soul who's been carrying more than your fair share, and maybe, just maybe, no one ever told you why. But now you know. Now you've seen that tiredness isn't always about age. It's about hydration, movement, quiet stress, gentle sunlight, nourishing meals, deep rest, and yes, joy. Joy especially. And the beauty of all this? These are things you can begin to change. Not overnight, not all at once, but one small step at a time. A glass of water, a stretch by the window, a short walk in the morning sun, a meal that fuels instead of drains, a moment of laughter, a spark of purpose. You see, the body has an extraordinary wisdom. It wants to heal. It wants to feel alive. And sometimes, all it needs is your permission. So if you take nothing else from our time today, let it be this. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to wake up with clarity, to move through the day with steadiness, and to fall asleep with peace in your heart. Your spark is not gone. It's still there, waiting for you to notice it, to nourish it, and to let it light your way forward. Until next time, take good care of yourself, and remember, you're not alone on this path. We're walking it together.